Hello everyone, hope you're all doing good. So, here today we will discuss the grade 8 maths. Chapter name is persons, and here are the names of the lesson. The first lesson is percent of a numbers and money amounts. Then, percent of a numbers word problems. Then, compare the percent of numbers, solve the percent equation, and percent of change. Alright, so let's get start from here. That is our A plus app, and here is your chapter, that is percent. And now the first lesson that we discuss today is percent of a numbers and money amounts. That let's get start. So the first question is 75% of 52. There are two methods to solve this question. First, we are going to solve the first method, then we are going to solve the second one. Then any method that you are able to solve, you can choose it. Okay, so the first one, we are going to write it out. 75%. Okay, 75% of 52. It's 52. Yeah. So what is that method? This method is that here, first one, like you just going to choose the n, and percent of a whole is here. Okay, n, that is equals to percent of a whole. Okay, so here is n. This is 75% times, this is the sign of times 52. How to find the 75%? Just simply divide 75 over the 100. Okay, so when you are going to divide 75 over 100, what's the answer? This is 0.75 times 52. Now let's do multiplication here. So 0.75 with 52, then we get the answer is 39. Alright, this is the first method. By using this method, we are going to solve it. Now for the second method. Same question, we are going to use the second method. That is, here, if you're going to put n divided over 52, that is equals to 75%. What does 75% mean? 75 divided over 100. Okay, now let's cross multiply. So n times 100, which is equals to 52 times 75. Okay, now let's check the multiplication here. I'm just going to open the calculator. So 2 times 75. First we are going to multiply these two numbers. So this become, so here it's n times 100, that is equals to 52 times 75. The answer is 3900. Okay, let's write 3900. Now there is multiplication of 100 divided on both side the 100. Okay, we are going to divide both side on 100. Let's do it. 100 and divided over 100, that is equals to 3900 divided over 100. When you divide 100 and over 100, so like this way, over 100, that is equals to 300 over 100. This 100 and 100 should be cancelled out. only the n is left. And what is the answer of 3900 divided by 100? So so 3900 divided over 100. So what's the answer? It's only 39. Look at here, the answer from the second and answer from the method that we are using, the first method, both have same answers. Any method that you want to choose. Okay, let's do one more question related to that, both the methods. Okay, so here is the second question. We are going to choose the second question, that is 20% of 5. So 20% of 5. Okay, first we are going to choose the method which is n that is equals to percent of a whole numbers, which is 20% times 5. So n is equals to, what is 20%? 20% means 20 divided over 100. Okay, so the answer is 0.2, then times 5. Now just multiply 0.2 times 5. Then what's the answer? It's 1. So your n is 1. Okay, this is the question that we are going to solve for the first method. Now let's do the second method. Second method now. N over 5, then 20% is 20 over 100. So n divided by 5, that is equals to 20 divided by 100. What's the answer? We already find it out, which is 0. Sorry, that is 20 divided over 100. Just cross multiply. This becomes 100 n, which is equals to 20 times 5. So what is the answer of 20 times 5? Which is 100. Now here is 100 n, which is equals to 100. Now divide on both sides with 100. So 100 n divided over 100, which is equals to 100 divided over 100. Or if you want to write it like that way, or is equals to 100 over 100, this should be cancelled, this should be cancelled, so your n is equals to 1. And when we are using the first method, it is also 1. All right, hope you guys understand this one. Now let's do the next. Okay, let's do some test questions for that. So let's do some test questions. 100% of 21. So what is the answer? 100% of 21. Let's solve. Okay, now we're going to choose only one method. 100% of 21. Let's do it. That is n, which is equals to 100% times 21. So what it means? 100 divided over 100, which is 1. So n is equals to 1 time 21. So what is the answer? That is 21. So here we are going to click 21. Yes, this is right answer. Okay, now 60% of 100. Let's do this one. 60% of 100. Let's do the second method now. N over 100, which is equals to 60%, that is 60 over 100. Cross multiply, this becomes 100 n, that is equal to 60 times 100. By using calculator, what's the answer of 60 times 100? Anyone? 60 times 100. The answer is 6,000. Okay. Now divide on both sides with 100. Now when we divide, okay, let's check. This is only the n is left. And when you divide it, 6,000 divided over 100, that is only 60. Understand? This is 60. Let's check. Is there any answer 60? Yes, this is here. Let's click. What is 70% of 70? Let's solve. 70% of 70. So n is equals to 70% dot 70, that means multiplication. So n is equals to, what is 70%? Divide 70 over 100. This is 0.7 times 70. Now let's 0.7 times 70. This is 49. Okay, let's check, is there any answer for 49? Yes, part A. That's all. Hope you guys understand this lesson, percent of numbers and amount, like how to find these percents. Okay, now let's discuss the next lesson. All right, which one? Percent of numbers, what problem? So you guys solve this one by yourself. Okay, this is same just like the previous lesson, we have already done it. Now we are going to start the compare of number. Okay, so here are the two questions we are going to it and then check which one is greater, which one is less, are they both equal or not, like that way. So the two numbers we're going to take it here, 140% of 25. I'm going to write it here. Okay, 140% of 140% of 25 and 150% of 22. Let's solve it. Okay, only the one method we are going to use here, and then just tell us like which one is greater, which one is less, or are they equal or not. Okay, so let's solve the first question firstly. So here is 140% of 25, that means n is equals to 140% multiply with 25. So n is equals to, what is 140%? 140 divided over 100. Okay, this is 1.4 times 25. 1.4 then times 25. The answer is 35. So what is value of n? That is 35. Okay, let's do the next. Next is here, n is equals to 150% dot 22. N is equals to, what is 150%? 150 divided by 100. This is 1.5. 1.5 times 22. Okay, 1.5 multiply with 22. This is 33. So which one is greater? The first one or the second one? Obviously the first one is greater because the answer is here 35. and the answer is here 33. So we can say that first one is greater as compared to second one. Okay. Now let's check which is less. 40% or no, we are doing 20% of 90, 30% of 60. 20% of the 30% of 60. Okay, let's do which method you are going to use. I think so that one is easy. This method is easy. Okay, let's do this one. So first one is 20. Let's find one is for the other method and this one is for the first method. So 20% of 90 is n over 90, which is equals to 20 over 100. Let's multiplication cross multiply. So this becomes 100 and that's equals to 20 times 90. What is the answer of 20 times 90? That is 1800. Okay. Now divide it on both 100. So this should be cancelled. That is n. And here the answer is 1800. When you divide over 100, the answer is 18. Okay. Now let's do that one. 30% of 60. 30% of 60. Now n is equals to 30% times 60. So n is equals to, what is the answer of 30%? So 30 divided over 100, which is 0.3 times 60. So 0.3 times 60, that is 18. So n is equals to 18. So which one is less? They both are equal. Got it? Both are equal now. So we can say that these both are equal. Now let's do some test questions for that. Which is greatest? 30% of 100 or 75% of 40? Neither, they are equal. First we find the first one, then we find the second one, then we check which one is greater. Let's do it. 75% of 40. Okay, then n is equals to 75% times 40. So n is to, what is 70%? 75 divided over 100. This is 0.75. Then multiply with 40. Okay, this is 0.75 times 40. And what's the answer? That is 30. Okay, let's do the next. What is the next? Which is 30% of 100. 30% of 100. So n is equals to 30% times 100. So n is equals to, what is 30%? So when we are going to find 30%, so 30 divided over 100, that is 0.3 times 100. Okay, now multiply 0.3 times 100, which is 30. So which one is less or which one is greater, or they both are equal? Yes, they both are equal. So we're going to click neither, they are equal. Okay, greatest. 90% of 10, 30% of 30. Let's do it. 90% of 10, then 30% of 30. So what is the answer of 90% of 10? N is equals to 90% times 10, then N is equals to 90 divided by 100, then times 10. What is 90%? This is 90 divided by 100. Now we define 90 divided by 100, that is 0.9. 0.9 times 10, so 0.9 times 10, which is 9. Okay, this is your answer. 30% of 30, N is equals to 30% times 30, then N is equals to 30 divided by 100 times 30. N is equals to 30 divided by 100. What's the answer? 0.3 times 30. Let's find 0.3 times 30. This is also the 9. So both have same. There is no greater or equal here. So we can say that neither they are equal. Okay. Hope you guys also understand this lesson. So here we discuss the compare percent of numbers. Okay. We discuss the compare percent of number. Now let's do next solve percent equations. Solve percent equations. 4 is what percent? Now we are going to find it out. Write your answer using a percent sign. Okay. So 1% is equal to, as we know that what is the answer of 1%? How to finding it out 1%? What is the meaning of 1%? 1% means 1 divided over 100. Okay. And when you divide 1 divided over 100, then you get the answer, that is 0.01. This is your 1%. In this way, we're going to find 2%, 3%, just dividing that number with over the 100. Okay, just divided that number over 100. Now let's check. They are saying that 4 is what percent of 40. So we are going to check it out. 4, this is the formula. Part over whole, part over whole, that is equals to percent over 100. Okay, percent over 100. So what is part here? Part is here 4. What is whole number? Whole number is 40. What is percent? Percent is not given. Okay, so if they're saying that 4 is what part of 40, if this is your question, 4 is what part of 40? So 4 is your part. What is whole? That is your 40. What is percent? This is unknown number and that is 100. Again the same thing, just cross multiply with each other. So what it becomes, 4 times 100, which is equals to 40 times n. What is the answer? 4 times 100, this is 400. That is equals to 40 n. Now 40 is just simply multiply here. If you are going to choose that method, you are just simply divided on both sides with the number 40. Okay, so 400 divided by 40, then 40n divided over 40. Now 400 divided by 40, which is equals to 40n over 40. This should be cancelled. Now let's finding it out the answer. 400 over 40. Answer is 10, which is equals to n. And you can also write it down like this way, n is equals to 10. Okay, so that is your answer. And if they are saying that put your answer in the form of percent, so you just can put this one, n is equals to 10%. Okay, now let's do the one more question. 7 is 10% of what number? Now 7 is here part, percent is given. Okay, first write the formula. Part over whole, that is part over whole. Now the percent over 100. Part is given now, that is 7. Whole is not given, which is n. What is percent is given? Percent is given, which is 10%. Okay, and when we are saying that 10%, let's write this is 10 over 100. Cross multiply 100 times 7, 10 times n. This becomes 700. This becomes 10n. Dividing on both sides with 10. So 10n over 10. So what is the answer? 700 divided over 10, which is 70. So we can say that n is equals to 70. That is basically your whole. So 7 is whole. Basically you can say that this would be 70. Okay, so this is the answer. Now 80% of which number is 80? 80% of which number is dash, then you get the answer. So here look, now part over whole, that is equals to percent over 100. And what's the question? Question is 80% of missing number is 80. So the part is given, percent is given, whole is not given. Okay, your part is 80, your whole is not given, your percent is given, which is 80 divided by 100. Just cross multiply and then tell me what you got the answer. So simply when we're going to cross multiply, this becomes 100 times 80, which is equals to 80 times n. So what is the answer of 100 times 80? Let's check. 100 times 80, that is 8000, and this becomes 80, and so dividing on both sides with 80, so this becomes 8000 divided by 80, which is equals to 80 n over 80. So 80 n over 80, this should be cancelled. Now divide 8000 over 80, divided over 80, this is 100. Okay, so your n is 100. It means that 80% of 100, which is answer 80. Okay, hope you guys understand this one. Let's do one more question for that, then you are more able to clear. 25% of 24, what is the answer? It's just simple. 25% of 24. Now here whole is given, percent is given. Okay, let's do it. So whole is given, which is 24, and percent is given, that is 25%. Now the formula is n over, like, sorry, part over whole, part over whole, which is equals to percent over 100. Okay, so what is part? That is missing, so we can put it n. What is whole? Which is 24. What is percent? This is 25 over 100. Okay, just simply cross multiply. Anyone cross multiply and then tell me the answer? No? Okay, let's do it. N times 100, which is equals to 25 times 24. So here it becomes 100n, and what becomes here, which is 25 times 24. That is 600. 6,000. Now dividing on both sides with 100. Okay, so it's 600. I just put the extra 0 here. Now let's divide 600 divided over 100, which is 6. This one and this one is cancelled. N is equals to 6. And that is your answer. Hope you guys understand this one now. Okay. Now let's discuss the last one, percent of change. This is the last lesson. So I'm going to open it. Yes, this one. Percent of change we will cover. Okay. So what is the percent of change from 8 to 6? This is the formula for percent to change. Amount of change or original amount. Okay. What's the formula? Amount of change. Amount of change over original amount of change over original amount, and this is equals to percent of change, that is equals to the percent of change is amount of change over original amount. Okay, amount of change, we are going to find percent of change from 8 to 6. How to find the amount of change? Just subtracting, and the original amount, that is the greatest number, which is 8. Okay, so amount of change is 8 minus 6, and what is original amount? This is 8. So this is 2 by 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So 1 by 4. What is the answer? 1 divided by 4. So that is 0.25. 0.25. This is your percent of change. And if you want to convert it in the percent, 0.25% is your answer. Okay. Like 0.25, you're going to convert it now. Sorry, you're going to convert it into the percent form. So it means that how can you convert it out? multiply with 100. So 0.25 multiply with 100, this is equals to 25%. Okay, and this is your answer. So the percent rate of change 25% decreases. Okay, let's do the next. What is percent of change from 10 to 11? What is the original amount here? That is 10. And amount of change, subtracting 10 out of 11. So this becomes 11 minus 10. That is 1. 1 over 10. Same thing. We're doing it again. Let's do it. So this is amount of change, and then here is the original amount. So percent of change, that is equals to amount of change over original amount. Amount of change over original amount. And so the percent of change, that is equals to 10 minus 11. For example, 10 minus 9, and here is 10. So what is the answer? 1 over 10. And when you are finding it out, the answer of 1 divided by 10, what is it? It's 0.1. Okay, and now going to convert 0.1 into the percent form. So it means that 0.1 times 100, let's check, which is 10. Okay, this is the basically the percent of change. That's it. Let's do the next question. So what is the percent of change 25 to 26? Just putting here the formulas now. 25 to 26. 25 to 26. So 26 minus 25. Okay. So this is 26 minus 25. That is 1. We already know it, and divided over 25. So 1 over 25, what is the answer? Let's check. This is 0.04. And when you're going to convert 0.04 into 0.04 multiply with 100, then let's check. This is 4. So it's 4% increases. Okay. So here it's 4% increases. As we know that, figure out whether the percent of change is an increase or decrease. Since the number goes up from 25 to 26, it is an increase. So what is the percentage from 50 to 87? Now, percent of change is again 87 minus divided over 50. Now look at here, the number is moving from 50 to 87. Number are increasing now, 50 to 87. So it means that it increases. Or let's do this one. 6,000 to 600. Now here the increases. Let's find it 6000 to 600. Now percent of change, 6000 to 600 divided over 6000. Okay, this is basically the thing. Now let's finding it out. Sorry about that. So 6000 minus 600, 5400 over 6000. Okay, let's divide. This is 0.9. Now if you want to convert this 0.9, okay, so 0.9 should be converted 0.9 times 100. So what is the answer of 0.9 times? This would be the 90. Okay, and now tell me, for example, here is the question. They are saying that what is the percent change from 6000 to 600? Now it's 6000 and then it decreases back to the numbers. Then we are saying that 90% decrease. Okay, this is basically the thing. Now, what is the percent of change from 60 to 15? So what is the percent change from 60 to 15? Now, how can we check it out from 60 to 15? Just simply subtract 60 minus 15 and then we're going to divide it over the original amount, that is 60. Now, after subtraction, when we subtract 60 minus 15 and then dividing it over 60, we are getting out the answer 0.75. But look at the question. If the question is already like it's explained from the question is already like it's 60 to 15, that is moving down. So it means that it decreases. And then when you are going to check it 0.75 into the percent form, just simply multiply with 100 that numbers. Then you get the answer 0.75, or you can say that 5%. Okay. So now these are all the test question by yourself. Just first of all, just simply what is the percent of change from 5 to 3? 5 to 3 it decreases. But first you simply subtract 5 minus 3, that is 2 divided by 5. Now 2 divided by 5, what is the answer? Let's check it out. 2 divided by 5, this is 0.4, and then when you are going to multiply 0.4 with 100, so what's the answer? That is 40%. So here is 40% decrease. Why it's decrease? Because it's moving from 5 to 3. So we can say that 40% decrease. Okay. So now you can solve all the rest of the questions yourself, and hope you guys understand all the lessons, all the uh, basically all these lessons regarding that chapter percents. And if you still need any help in any of the questions, so you can contact on our tutors that are available Monday to Friday 5 to 9 p.m. on Skype. Okay, now you all have a bye.